And welcome in this week to this week's edition of the Chanticleer Football Update, week number 10 of the Coastal Carolina 2017 football season, alongside the interim head coach, Jamie Chadwell. My name is Joe Cashin, and Coach, a tough one. Had them the other night, 39-38 loss at Arkansas. And as I was traveling home on Sunday, I thought about the late, great Denny Green and what he once said. They were who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
And we let them off. That's about right. That's about right. You play really well to the fourth quarter there, about 12 minutes to go. Things are going your way, and then that's why you talk to your team all the time about playing 60 minutes. For 48, we were the best team out there. And then the last 12, we just could not make a play when we needed to and made them all game long. And they got a little momentum there in the fourth quarter and just couldn't stop it. So proud of the team, proud of their effort.
No doubt about that. Got to hand it to the guys because Arkansas really came out right from the get-go. They took the first drive of the game, went and scored. Thought we might have had a break there with a fumble recovery. Didn't go our way after replay. But then our guys came right back, possessed the ball for over 7 minutes, 14 plays, and went and tied the game. And all of a sudden, you kind of felt like, okay, we're in this ball game.
Yeah, I thought we answered, and we needed to answer. We didn't. We were down 7-0, and they made it look easy there early. And it was a great answer. Tyler, I thought, had a great opening drive and converted some third downs. It was big to get the touchdown. And we sort of, whatever momentum they had, we took it away from them when we let them know, hey, we're here to stay. And I think it energized our whole team.
And then, of course, Coastal takes the lead in the second quarter, 14-7. They battled back. 17-14 game at halftime, but you really felt like this was a 60-minute ball game.
It was. We dodged that bullet there at halftime.
Yes, we sure did.
They completed that Hail Mary, which I don't know how that happened. And fortunately, he was down at the 1. So thank goodness for good replay and good cameras. And so I think that, gave us, you're going to be on a low, obviously, if they score there. And the guys were excited when we ran because we dodged that bullet and we ran the football game. But there's other times throughout the year we've been relatively close at halftime, and the third quarter's been our Achilles heel. Something's happened, we've just not been able to respond. We took the opening drive and went down and put some points on the board, and it was you knew, hey, our guys were ready to compete for the 4 quarters.
I want to go back to the end of the first half real quickly. Tyler Keene was just terrific in this game. Unfortunately, he goes down to injury late in the first half. But what was the key to him having such a big first half?
You know what? I think he prepared really well for it. The thing about Tyler doesn't get too emotional, either high or low. So it didn't matter if he's playing at Arkansas or playing wherever. He's going to go out and try to do his very best. And I think he didn't play as well the week before. And the thing that Tyler has been relatively consistent all year long, and he felt like he had a bad game the week before, and he wanted to come out and play well. And he was 9 of 11, I believe. He had 2 touchdowns in a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
He was on fire, and it's very unfortunate for him to get hurt the way he did. And hopefully we'll get him back. Most likely not this week, but hopefully we can maybe get him back towards the end of the year. But he was playing really well, Joe.
And then Kilton Anderson, of course, came in the second half. And as you alluded to a minute ago, the offense took the ball right down the field, started the second half. We were down 17-14. They marched 75 yards, and then Anderson hit Malcolm Williams over there with that touchdown. And, all of a sudden here we are with the lead.
Yeah, and that was a big deal. We talked in the locker room to the team, hey, offense, you've got to get some points on the board just to get some momentum. And that's one of the reasons why you want to defer is you want to get that ball out of the second half, whether you're up or whether you're behind, so you can try to get the first crack at it. And we did, and that gave us tons of momentum. And then I think the very next drive, I think we made a huge play on defense and got a touchdown. I believe it was the next drive.
Yes, it was, because as soon as Coastal scored to make it 21-17, they threw a pass out in the flat to one of their backs, and Dante here was just if he's looking up, he might pick it off and score, but he's looking at making a hit. He breaks it up. Nick Clark right there in the vicinity, he's able to scoop it up and go score. And all of a sudden now we're ahead of schedule with a 2-score lead.
Yeah, big play. And then the momentum, everything's going great. Obviously, we get a penalty there because we don't know how to celebrate a touchdown, and so little things like that add up to you, and gave them some better field position after that. But you're up now, I think up 28-17, early in the third, obviously a long way to go. And so, but just the good start that you needed, you couldn't script it a better start coming out of the locker room to keep us in the football game.
They go and score and get a 2-point conversion after that to cut it to 3. But then Coastal comes right back with another drive, and Evan Rabin, who's really had a great stretch. He's made 5 consecutive field goals in addition to his great punting. He knocks one in, and we go back up by 6.
Yeah, we needed to answer that drive. We had 2 shots at the end zone there. Had 2 plays in the end zone. I thought we needed touchdowns, so we tried to be aggressive there. And had Chris Jones one time and had Malcolm, our 2 best players, and just could not connect with them. And so, but Evan made a nice field goal there, and it kept us up 6. which was a big deal there because we at least answered their score.
And then a little bit later on in the fourth quarter, early after they dropped a snap on a punt, we got some good pressure. I think it was maybe a 6-yard punt or something like that. Got great field position. We're able to take advantage of that and then go back up by 2 scores.
Yeah, that was a huge play. You know, they were making. I don't know if they were feeling the pressure, but they had some issues with doing some things, and we were able to take advantage of it. And we needed a touchdown there. We got it. You know, we made a decision not to go for 2 there. And, you know, thinking wise that we're going to be back down there again, try to stay up. We felt like we'll get back and go up 2 touchdowns, 2 scores. You know, your hindsight's 20/20 now. You can look back. You got beat by 1 point. You should have went for 2. So, you know, as a coach, you beat yourself up some of those decisions there, and we talked about it on the sideline. And ultimately, I made the decision for it. But I felt like still we'd have had the chance to go back and get more points, and we did. We had 3 drives left. Of course, we didn't get any more points. So.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the highlights for the game there for the Chanticleers, because the killer score was the 88-yard run right after that. I mean, and you and I talked before we started recording the show. You gotta make them nickel and dime it there. They got to run some time off the clock, but as soon as he got to the perimeter, boom, he was gone.
He was gone. Yeah, it's you're 12 minutes to go, somewhere around there. We get a great punt. I mean, they have to go 88, and they're not a quick strike offense by any means. And so even if they score there, you're up 6 still. But you take off 4 or 5 minutes, get it down to where it's now it's there's 7 minutes to go. We're up 6 points. If we can get any type of drive, we work some clock. Now it's the clock's working away. We punted with 12 minutes and 40 seconds left. We got the ball back with 11 minutes and like 57 seconds. It was that quick. And then we had a chance at a 3rd and short there to move it, and we didn't make it. And they went like on a 6 or 7 minute drive and just milked the clock down, And so one of those things where I think, defensively we wish we had maybe a couple calls back, and offensively you wish you maybe had a couple, not decisions, but maybe executed something a little bit better just to give you a chance. And I look back in the fourth quarter, we had a 3rd and 5, and we had a chance. We had a 50-50 ball to Malcolm, which we've been winning.
Yeah, sure.
And we didn't win that one, and there's – It's amazing how you win a bunch of them, but when you really need to win them, something didn't go your way. And I think our program and our team learned a lot from that game. Is obviously we'd love to come home with a win, but if we can learn the lesson of how we need to prepare and play, then it'll be for a good purpose for us. And
one last question too, Coach. You had 4th and 1, you had 3rd and short, and then 4th and 1. Didn't go for it right there. What was the thought process there?
I thought a lot about it long and hard. It was like I think there was 9 minutes left and 8 minutes maybe something. And it was at 34 and wanted really to go for it there.
Yeah.
But knew you're up 6, knew you put your defense in a bad situation there. Felt like they played relatively well except for that 88-yard drive, and thought, well, if we punt it out of there, Evan's been punting the ball pretty good. They're going to have to go 75, somewhere around there to try to tie it. We get them on a 3rd and 11, it's 3rd and 11, and they get, I think, 10.5, and they go for it on 4th and short and obviously get it. So I thought at the time that just didn't want to put our defense in that situation there, that short of it. We talked long and hard about it.
Yeah.
And but made the decision to go, punt, and, another one that didn't work out.
39-38, Arkansas wins it over Coastal. And Coach, a great effort. I know there are no moral victories. A loss is a loss, but you still had to take a lot of positives away from bouncing back from the Texas State game to go into a Power 5 SEC and put on that kind of show.
Yeah, there is. And I think our team learned a lot from that, and I think it shows you what the type of ability that we're capable of. But. The challenge, as you know, Joe, is we've shown flashes of that all year long, but then it disappears the next week. And so are we going to be mature enough as a football team? Our leaders are going to understand that we're playing a really good team this week and that we need to play at that same type of level, that same type of intensity, and continue to develop as our football program.
We'll take a break and come back with more of the Chanticleer football update right after this. Back here on the Chanticleer football update, talking about the 39-38 loss, Coastal at Arkansas last Saturday night. And, Coach, the players of the game, offensively, Chris Jones, he had a big day receiving over 100 yards.
Yeah, Chris made some nice plays. They ended up having to try to double-team him a little bit there. We had some opportunities to get him the ball. He made a couple really nice catches, some hard catches, and really responded well to the adversity he's been facing, and I thought played played a great game and well-deserved for him.
Offensively, we mentioned him in the first segment, but Dante here's cornerback had a big-time game, 6 tackles and a huge play on defense, which really helped us take a 2-score lead.
Yeah, I thought Dante played really well in the football game. He competed. He tried to be a leader for the defense out there. Thought he did a nice job, and obviously covering. You mentioned the big play that he made. But I thought he did a nice job tackling because they're going to make the corners tackle with their scheme, and I thought he did a nice job of that.
And then on special teams, once again, kind of a broken record here, but Evan Rabin, again, a great night punting and a critical field goal when we had to have it.
Yeah, big play. I thought Evan the last probably 3 weeks has been the most consistent he's been all year. You know, he was up and down a little bit earlier during the season, but the last 3 he's been punting the ball well. He's been kicking the ball well, and now you got some confidence when you throw him out there. You feel like you're making the field goals. You know, you should feel like, hey, if we can get down there, we got 3 points, and that's a great confidence for a coach to have.
And then a group of guys that often don't get much publicity at all, offensive line. Those guys, I thought, that's one of the best offensive line performances I've seen from a Coastal team, particularly going up against a front like an SEC Arkansas-type team. I thought those guys were tremendous. And you had a redshirt freshman, redshirt freshman, and sophomore. Those guys just did a terrific job.
Yeah, I thought they did a lot of nice things. It's still a learning curve with those guys. I don't know if they were all on the same page every snap, but the thing that they did is the moment wasn't too big for them. They competed. They gave everything they could. And there was at times that we moved them well, up front, and did a really nice job of handling the different things they were trying to do. And I thought we protected the quarterback relatively well. So there's better days ahead for us. Obviously, with those guys, they got to continue to get better there. Obviously, when you're young and you have some success like you did, it goes to your head a little bit. And so hopefully we'll continue to have that work ethic those guys need. But really, I was pleased, and I think our staff was too, just how they competed during that game.
We'll take another break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at Saturday afternoon's opponent, the Troy Trojans, as they come to Conway. We'll do it after this. The Chanticleers look to bounce back on Saturday afternoon as the Troy Trojans come to town, one of the last 2 home games of the season, Military Appreciation Day, as well as the Sasser Hall of Fame induction ceremonies as well going on this coming weekend. And, well, Coach, this is an awfully good Troy team. They come in at 7-2. Of course, they won at LSU earlier this season. They're 4-1 in the Sun Belt Conference. This is a very good football team.
They are very well, probably all around, special teams, offense, defense, probably the most well-coached team and probably most athletic all around that we've seen. Defensively, maybe they've got some really good players. Their 2 best players are both from South Carolina, the state of South Carolina.
Something, yeah.
And I think they do a lot of different things where their coach does a great job. And then offensively, they're a spread team. They really try to get the running back going. He's a good player. And you mentioned they went to Baton Rouge and won. They played Boise State really tough up at Boise, and then they had a hiccup there versus South Alabama. I think they had the LSU hangover a little bit, but they've righted the ship since then. And their defense is the top in the league, and they've not given up more than 24 points all year long. And so they've done a really nice job. They do a good job there. This is a completely different challenge than what we faced last week, but talent-wise, they're going to be very comparable to Arkansas State. And it's going to take all-out effort for us to try to win the football game.
What do you see out of this team, particularly with their quarterback, Brandon Silvers? What makes him such a good player?
Well, I think they do a great job of formation you to where he has an opportunity to get rid of the ball quick. They got some really good playmakers. Then they spread you out, and then, okay, let's cover the pass, and then they're able to do a really good job run game. And so what most defenses want to do is stop the run. So you got to pound that box and they're loaded up, and he's able to put the ball. I think he's very accurate. I think that's what he's really good at. And so if you watch watch game films, there'll be people covering him down. He's able to put it in the windows, and so he's done a really nice job. And it's a big challenge for our defense this week. And
then on their side of the ball, on the defensive side of the ball, you mentioned how good they are over there. What makes them so good over there?
Well, I think they play a lot of people. They rotate tons of people. They're in their secondary. I think they play 8 or 9 different kids up front. They rotate a lot. Linebackers, they rotate a lot. So everybody's always fresh, and they make up maybe for the lack of scheme or lack of some things with just playing hard. And the thing that you'll notice listening to the game or watching it is their overall team speed is really good. So they might make a mistake, but they're fast enough to make up for it. And that's the thing that really jumps out on video. And the people that have had success with them, and there's been little, has had a chance to get one out and try to confuse them or something like that. And that's the people that have been able to score on them. But for the most part, they shut people down really well.
Injuries. I know we had a lot in the game the other day. Had some guys go down, particularly Tyler Keene. Of course, he couldn't play the second half. And what's the update on him and maybe some of the other guys?
Yeah, Tyler will be out this week. He will not play. He's probably out for at least another 3 weeks, maybe the rest of the season. We'll just have to see how his hand heals. It's a thumb. We should get Marcus Outlow back. Osh played a little bit last week.
Yeah.
Hopefully he continues to get better. Shane was banged up during the game, but he's been practicing. We've got a lot of red jerseys out there right now, but that's just part of it being this late in the year. So hopefully, I'm not saying everybody be healthy, but we should have the complement of guys out there and giving what they can.
Game time is 4:30 on Saturday. The Chanticleer Sports Network goes on the air with their coverage at 2:30. Coach, best of luck. Let's get a win. It's been a long time. We're due for one. Let's beat these Troy Trojans.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, for interim head coach Jamie Chadwell, I'm Joe Cashin. We'll see you right back here next time on the Chanticleer Football Update.